Aqid and Ma'qud. The Aqid and the Ma'qud is the one who's contracting into the contract. Ma'qud, the one that's being contracted upon. And then you have Al-Ma'qudu, and then you have the Al-Ma'qudu alayhi, which is going to be, in this instance, you have the Mahr, the Sadaq, the value which is contracted upon. The value which is contracted upon. And then we have the Shahidain, which are the two witnesses. So we said, in terms of the Aqidain and the Shahidain, there has to be a verbal contract that is understood between them. So those who are witnessing, at least the two witnesses must understand what is happening, what is transpired, what has been said, what is offered and what is accepted. The conditions of the verbal contract, we said, is there must not be a lengthy pause, to the extent and to the degree that it gives the impression that the person is doubtful. Right? It should be conflict between that which is offered and that which is accepted. I marry you, my daughter Hind. I accept the marriage of Zainab. La. Ikhtilaf. I marry you, my eldest daughter. I accept the marriage of your youngest daughter. La. La yajuz. And that it should not be mu'allaq. It should not be suspended. No suspensive contract. زوجتك على أن تطلق زوجتك الأولى. I marry you on condition to marry you divorce your first wife. زوجتك, I marry you على أن, on condition that you must do 1,000 reps, push-ups. الطلاق المعلق. And we say that if the person says insha'Allah, which is insha'Allah is mu'allaq, if Allah wills, that is ta'liq. If, in. Right? That in there is ta'liq, adatu ta'liq. That if, that's adatu ta'liq. And what if he says insha'Allah? What if he says insha'Allah? زوجتك بنتي هند بمهر قدره كذا إن شاء الله. We said, what's the hukm of that? We said it is jaiz if his intention is only tabarruk and not to suspend. Intention is barakah, inshallah, mention the name of Allah Ta'ala, everything happens with Allah's permission. Everything is inshallah, 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 inshallah. Barakah, barakah. Right? Jaiz. If he says inshallah as in if Allah wills, and his intention was to suspend it, it's invalid. And we say that adam al-taqeed, that it shouldn't be limited to a time frame. I marry you for a year, I marry you for a month, I marry you for 10 years, I marry you for 100 years. And we spoke about the hukum of taqeed mad al-hayah, the person I marry you for her lifetime. What remains now, what we discussed today is as-sadaq. As-sadaq is more commonly known by us as mahr. Sadaq is more commonly known by us as mahr or maskavi or dowry. So as-sadaq wal-mahr wal-nihlatu wal-tawl wal-atiyya, all of it is the same meaning. And what the Allah Ta'ala says, وَآتُوا النِّسَاءَ صَدُقَاتِهِنَّ نِحْلَةً. So these words are all the same meaning, but it is more common, and they are 8. Some say 10, some say 12. صداق ومهر نحلة وفريضة حباء وأجر ثم عقر علائق وطول نكاح ثم خرص تمامها. So say that is, some say that is 8, some say that is there is a total of 12 names that can be used for sadaq or mahr. What is sadaq and what is mahr? He says, lughatan, linguistically, ma wajaba bi nikah, that which becomes wajib through entering into nikah, as a result of a nikah. The mahr is that which becomes wajib as a result of a nikah. That is linguistically. Shar'an, which is a definition that we need to understand and which is more relevant to us, and that is the legal definition of nikah, or the fiqhi shar'i definition of sadaq maf. ما وجب على المرأة على الرجل للمرأة, that which becomes compulsory for the man towards the woman, to the woman, from the husband towards the wife, غالبا, in most instances, بسبب, as a result of nikah, أو وطء شبهة, or intercourse that is with shubha. What is وطء شبهة? What is وطء شبهة? An intercourse that takes place that happens on account of doubt, an ambiguous intercourse, أو نحو ذلك, or along those lines, or something similar to that, such as a nikah fasid. Let's break down the definition. ما وجب على الرجل المرأة, which is it is that which is necessary. That ما there is ما الموصولة, meaning الذي, that الذي there, that which is necessary, that which becomes wajib. It can either be mal or manfa'a. Mal is something that is, you can attach value to it in terms of a price, such as money, something that is used to buy, that has buying power. أو منفعة, or a benefit. Mal is easy, money is easy. I marry you, my daughter, for the dowry of 200 rand. That's mal, 200 rand. جائز. أو منفعة. منفعة means benefit. The meaning of manfa'a, I marry you of my daughter on condition, or for the dowry of teaching her Surah Al-Fatiha. Manfa'a. That's a benefit. How there's conditions to the manfa'a. In the same way there's conditions to the money, or the amount, the value, there's conditions to the manfa'a, which is the benefit that is entitled, that the wife is entitled to. And that is that the benefit must be known. And we'll come to the conditions of that inshallah a bit later. So we said ma wajaba, which becomes necessary, can only be one of two things: mal or manfa'a, either money or wealth, or manfa'a, or a benefit, something that the person can derive, that the person benefits from. Wajaba, which is necessary, it, in most instances, it is wajib for a man upon the lady. But there can be times when it can be wajib for the lady upon the man, that she must give him. Or wajib for a man towards another man. And this is not, we're not speaking about same-sex marriages here. Alright, speaking about normal people here, people that are not abnormal. Right. One is where mahar is wajib for a woman towards the man, is not where the man is asking her maskavi or mahar. No. Is where the reason why the nikah, by way of example, was annulled is due to the error on the side of the lady. Or in an instance, and I'll give you an example, or at an instance where a certain portion of the mahar must be returned to the husband, and then the female has to return it, that's part of the mahar, has to return it back to him. Example of where the female has to give the husband a mahar is the one wife, the older wife, she breastfeeds his younger wife. In the instance where the younger wife is a saghira, is a minor. Hypothetical. Happens. And that establishes a hurma between the one who breastfed her and the child. So she now becomes the milk mother. He cannot be married to that young girl because she becomes now his milk daughter. Right? So she becomes haram and this one becomes haram. The mother and the daughter becomes haram. But now she was the reason why he had to now separate from his second wife. And therefore his first wife, taghrum, she has to pay him back a certain amount of the dowry on account of what she did of feeding or giving milk to the second wife. Another instance is where assumingly she says, my mahr is you must teach me Surah Yasin. I want to memorize Surah Yasin. Or you must teach me, I must be able to read the Quran. Or you must teach me Al-Miftah li Bahab al-Nikah. Teach me the book. Or Safinatun Najah. Khalas, he teaches the entire book. And a talaq takes place before there's dukhul, before there's intercourse. A talaq takes place. So follow me. He's supposed to, there's a manfa'a now. The mahr is the mahr mal or manfa'a? You must teach me Surah Yasin. Mal or manfa'a? Manfa'a is a benefit. So now he teaches us entire surah. He says, I'm going to first teach you Yasin before I do anything. Because I want to make sure my mahr is fully covered. I don't want to have any relationship with you until I know my mahr is settled. So he teaches us Surah Yasin. It takes 2 days to memorize Surah Yasin, mashallah. So now the mahr is paid or not? Mahr is paid. Some argue ensues and there he talaq. Because there's no dukhul, he only has to pay half of the mahr. If he divorces his wife before intercourse, then only half of the mahr becomes wajib. If you divorce your wife after intercourse, then the entire mahr falls away. Meaning she doesn't have to return anything to you. Before intercourse, only half of the mahr is due and the other half must be returned. So how does she return the half of Surah Yasin now? She has to return half of Surah Yasin. So they say, you have to attach a value to what it would cost to teach a person for that duration, and you take half of that and she must pay it back to him. Okay? So the dowry was teach me Surah Yasin. The dowry was teach me. She can come a bit closer then. Brothers can come around me or come with food. So those sitting behind are not so cranky. The dowry was teach me Surah Yasin. Okay, so now he teaches Surah Yasin. After she's now hafid, she memorized Surah Yasin. He discovers something. Or him and her have a discussion. In-laws get involved. They had no it's my doctor. Wal-iyad billah talaq. May Allah Ta'ala save us and protect us. There was no intercourse. And because there's no intercourse, يجب عليه نصف المهر. Half of the mahar is due. But you already paid the full mahar. You can obviously say, خلاص يعني Bismillah, Surah Yasin. The more you read it, I'm going to get to the word. You say, I want my half of my mahar back. I want half of my mahar back. And how am I going to pay off? She has to return the value of that, and she has to pay back. So, غالبا in most instances, the mahr is necessary towards the wife from the husband, or by the husband to the wife. غالبا in most instances, except exceptions here and there. As a result, بسبب نكاح, as a result of nikah, right? And that is a عقد نكاح صحيح, a valid nikah, complied with all the conditions. Oh, what is shubhatin? or a wealth that is doubtful. A wealth that is doubtful. Shubhatul Mahal, for example, he was under the impression that this is his wife, but it's not his wife. He has to pay. Right? There's money due there. أو نكاح فاسد. Even a nikah that is fasid. What is a nikah fasid? A nikah that didn't comply with the conditions. He was a wali, but there wasn't witnesses. There were witnesses, but there wasn't a wali. The nikah they entered into, he had intercourse. After they discovered your nikah is invalid because there was no wali. The Prophet ﷺ said, you need a wali and 2 witnesses. He said, I didn't know. I thought that the imam was enough. No, but say, where is the wali of the female? There's no wali for the female. Or I thought that I can just marry her directly like that, without anybody. I had 2 witnesses, and me and her, and she. I said, I offer, and she said, I accept. Or she said, I offer, and I said, I accept, whichever way. And khalas, the nikah went through. We tell him, no, but it's problematic, because لا تزوج المرأة نفسها. The Prophet ﷺ said, a female cannot marry herself off. Nikah fasid. Nikah is invalid. There was intercourse. خلاص. مهر. The mahr is due. Right. حتى إن كان النكاح فاسدا. So that is the definition of صداق. أو موت, or death. According to some, person passes away, أو موت. Because of the person passing away, got married, female passes away, immediately the mahr becomes due. Where is an instance where a man has to pay the dowry of another man? A man has to pay the dowry of another man. So he gets married to this lady. He pays her dowry. The 2 people makes a case in the court. Qadi, this marriage is invalid. Why? There's mahramiyya between the 2 of them. She drank from his mother and their sisters their brother and sister, both brothers and sisters. Now they come and testify. يا قاضي أشهد أن هذه أخته من الرضاعة. قاضي, I testify that this is his sister from his milk sister. Can't be haram. They can't get married. The Qadi passes the hukm. He says, ثبت عندي بالبينات. It has been established by me in terms of proof, evidence that the 2 of them are milk brothers and sisters, or milk siblings. فرقت بينهما. I separate between the 2 of them. كل واحد راح لحاله. Everyone goes in his own way, in his own path. And the witnesses come وتراجع. They turn back. They say, oh ma, we actually made a mistake. We weren't. We thought it was, but it's actually the wrong person. Had the same name, and now because he lost out on that nikah, they have to return the dowry to him. So those men have to pay his dowry back to that person. That's للرجل على الرجل. ضابط الصداق. What is the definition of صداق? Or what is the what do you say ضابط? ضابط الصداق. The definition of صداق. كل ما صح كونه مبيعا عوضا أو معوضا صح كونه صداقا وما لا فلا. Every single thing that is permissible to be a mabi', a commodity, something of trade, of commerce, something of value, can become sadaq. And whatever it cannot be sold, or there's no value attached to it as either a mabi' or a thaman, and muthman, as they would say, the commodity and the price. So you have the product and you have the price. Whatever can be a commodity or a price can be sadaq, and whatever is not a commodity or a price cannot be sadaq. So you go now, if you study here in sadaq, you go now back to the conditions of the Bab al-Bay', the chapter of trade, and then you see what is the conditions of al-Mabi'. The conditions of the thing that is being sold. What is the condition? So firstly, it has to be tahiran. It has to be pure. So a female can't say, I want as my dowry a piece of ham. I want as my dowry, what do we say? A Rottweiler. Najis. A dog is najis. Najisul ayn. And because it's najis, you cannot use it as sadaq. You can't sell it. You can't sell it. And selling of dogs, it's another kamat. According to the Shafi'i madhab, la yajuz. It cannot be لا يجوز بيعه ولا شراؤه. In fact, لا يجوز, it's not permissible to sell it because it is najis. Can you purchase it under certain conditions? أن يكون كلبا معلما أو يكون للحراسة أو يكون للصيد. It must be a dog that is either taught and it is for hunting, or it must be a dog for security. But you know, I can't just keep a dog here running in my house and around, and a pet is a pet. Or the person says, my dowry is 1 pint of blood. My dowry is 1 pint of blood. Blood is najis. People sell blood. Yeah. And you buy blood also. But according to Shafi'i, blood is as najis. La yajuz. Right? So يكون طاهرا, must be pure. منتفعا به, even if it is pure, it must be منتفعا به, something that you can benefit from. My dowry is a rattlesnake, a cobra. My dowry is a swarm of ants or a spider. غير منتفع به. غير منتفع به. You can't use it. أو نواة, a date pit. What am I do with the date pit? There's no value attached to it. أن يكون منتفعا به. He must be able to benefit from. So it's طاهرا منتفعا به مقدورا على تسلمه. You must be able to hand it over, deliver it. You must be able to give delivery thereof, hand it over to the person. Or not necessarily hand it over, the person must be able to receive it. Even if you don't physically hand it over or deliver it, you can get the Uber to deliver it. Or you can tell the person, go to so and so place and your dowry will be waiting for you there. Go to Ferrari and there's your dowry waiting for you. Jais, permissible. But to tell the person, my dowry is that bird that is flying in the sky. Unless that bird is maybe a bird that is mu'allama, that bird that comes to a particular point and stops him. But if it's just a random bird, or my dowry is that fish that is there now in the water, and the person is unable to catch it. Right? So, أن يكون مقدورا على سلب. With this also it means that something that is stolen. Something that is stolen that cannot be recovered. The person don't know where it is. It can't be a dowry. Something the person don't know where it is. It's gone. I don't know where it is. لا يجوز. Cannot be dowry. So أن يكون طاهرا منتفعا به مقدورا معلوما للمتعاقدين. It must be known, and yes, this is a very important condition. معلوما. It must be known to the parties. I must know exactly what is the amount, or what is the value, or what is the manfa'a, the benefit that is required. A person says, my dowry is a car. I know. A person says, my dowry is a house. Very common. غير محلول. My dowry is, now recently, my dowry is, what was it? 1,000 rand for the rest of my life. Oh no, 1,000 rand at every anniversary. At every anniversary for the rest of my life. How? How long is the person going to live? غير معلوم. It can be live 1 year, lives 100 years, outlives him. So that is غير معلوم. It is unknown. So you stipulate it. You say, مثلا, if you want to say something like it, you would say, I want my dowry must be, and you calculate. Say, the average person is going to live 60 years, and every year 1,000 rand is 60,000 rand. 60,000 rand payable every year. Every year over 60 years. That's fine. If the person passes away before 60, then the balance of the amount becomes due immediately. Becomes due immediately. If the person passes away. If a talaq takes place, the balance becomes due immediately. So you have mahar, which is known as mahar hal, which is immediate, and you have mu'ajjal, which is deferred. The mahrul hal, the mahar that is paid immediately, that is due immediately. A female can make imtina' min nafsiha, she can prevent herself from her husband, or she can stop herself, her husband, from her, if he hasn't paid the mahar that is hal, that is due. Dun al mu'ajjal, unlike the mahar that is deferred. If the mahar is, you must give me 5,000 rand now and 500 rand over a period of 10 years. So now he says, okay, qabil, accept. The nikah went through, he doesn't have money on him. She says, وَبَيْنَهُمَا hijab. There's hijab between two of us. You sleep on that side, and I sleep on this side. You don't touch me and I don't touch you. Miskeen. Right? Until you pay me my 5,000. Put down the 5,000 here. Will it reflect in my account? Yeah, but I paid it. Where is the proof of payment? Here's proof of payment. Until it comes in my account. Until it reflects in my account. But it's going to take 2 days. You should have thought of made express payment. You should have made an immediate payment. Right? Until it reflects in my account. This is the cushion that's going to be between me and you. Right? And that cushion will feel like a China wall. Right. So that is hal. That's the 5,000. As the 500 rand, can she say until 60 years? You pay 500 rand after 60 years and you can touch me. La. Because that is mu'ajjal, that is deferred. So the deferred, she can't make imtina' of herself. But what is due immediately, she can say, until you pay that amount, until you give me what is due to me, you must stick to your own side of it. Na'am.
If the mahar is deferred and there's a talaq,
immediately.
Even that which is deferred.
Immediately. Even the deferred one becomes due immediately. Na'am.
The dowry is like learning the Arabic language. How does one ascertain the deliverability of it?
So that's important, that with regards to manfa'ah, it must be known to the parties. And she must know exactly what it is that she is expecting to derive from that, the manfa'ah. Learning the Arabic language, it is measurable. It is measurable, but it is best that it be defined to a certain extent. Like to what extent? Proficiency, beginners, intermediary level, or I teach me the Arabic language at this course for a year, for example, or following this syllabus for a year. The more it can be specified, the better it is. And there's a reason for that. We'll speak about that now. A person that says, I want you, my mahar is that you must take me for Hajj. Or my mahar is Hajj. Or, like we say, the mahar is a Hajj. Or my mahar is a Umrah. What Hajj? What amount? I've accepted, but what amount? Is it the 50,000 rand Hajj? 70,000? 100,000? So specify. Generally what to tell people is a Umrah to the value of 30,000. Hajj to the value of 70,000 مثلا. If it's more, you have to cover the difference. If it's less, you have to, the rest is islahat for you in your pocket. And نعم. مرحبا.
The dowry here should mention that half mahar is due if the talaq happens before consummation.
نعم.
Any other conditions that would impact the mahar after the nikah, that it can be renegotiated, or is that permissible?
As a standard rule, a female can make hiba of entire mahar back to the husband. The main thing is that there must be agreement from her side. She can say it's fine. Wahabtuhu lak, I give it to you. I give it to you. But it must happen with her consent. It must happen with her consent. So if she says the dowry is 50,000 rand, 50,000 rand, she can say, I give you the 50,000. You don't have to pay me. I don't want anything from you any longer. I just wanted to see how serious you were when you how much you wanted me. And you were willing to commit 50,000 rand. MashaAllah, you loved me a lot. Bismillah, I give you the 50,000. Right? أن يكون, we said so, أن يكون طاهرا منتفعا به مقدورا على تسلم معلوما للعاقدين. It must be known to the parties. One thing that now comes up, and that is, what if the mahar doesn't comply with those conditions? Assuming the person said, my mahar is 100 rand every month for as long as I'm alive. There is gharar, there is uncertainty. There's uncertainty. So the mahar is problematic. Or the mahar is something that is maybe that is not tahir, that is impure. What happens in that instance? Or there's ambiguity with regards to the mahar. Or the mahar is something that is undeliverable, unexchangeable. What is the hukum there? Now, does that render the nikah invalid? It does not render the nikah invalid. So understand that nikah is only like two contracts. You have the asl, which is the nikah, and then you have the taba', the consequence of the nikah, that is that mahar is due. Alright? بفساد الأصل يفسد التابع. When the asl becomes batil, fasid, invalid, then the tabi' becomes invalid as well. Such as with the person, anything that invalidates the nikah. If the nikah is invalid, then that also becomes, it's non-existent before dukhul, right? Before intimacy. If this nikah is valid, but the sadaq here is invalid, the consequence of the nikah, this consequence does not render the asl, the actual nikah, invalid. The nikah is the asl, the default. What flows from that of consequences is, one of it is nikah, sadaq, mahar. If the nikah is invalid, it does not. If the nikah is valid and the sadaq is invalid, or the mahar is invalid, the mahar does not invalidate the nikah. What happens? The Shafi'i madhab, that if the mahar is invalid, then you revert back to what is known as mahrul mithl. Mahrul mithl is the dowry of what? Who remembers? A dowry of?
Female.
Hey, sleeping. The dowry of?
Female of that particular standing.
The dowry of females of a what? Of a particular lineage, standard, whether she's a virgin, non-virgin, all right? Those things affects the dowry of the someone, like in her age, her beauty, her sisters, what did they get? Her cousins, what did they charge? What did her cousins charge as dowry? Knowledge, from the Ahlul Bayt, not from the Ahlul Bayt, areas, regions, all those that have effect on the Mahrul Mithl, the dowry of a female similar to her. So if the dowry is invalid, automatically you revert back to what is known as Mahrul Mithl. Even if the Mahrul Mithl is less. So she charges, the value of her dowry came to 100,000, but the Mahrul Mithl was only 20,000. Even if it is less, you say, but I wanted more. You should have thought to speak properly. Your dowry must be properly defined. And hence the reason why now it's important that many times we don't get involved in coming to know what the dowry is. But as a witness, let's know what the dowry is and understand, and particularly if you're conducting the nikah, to understand that the dowry that is being requested is a valid dowry. I probably 50% of the time then I have to rectify the issues of dowry, because if people don't know what the requirements of the sadaq is or dowry. Right?
What if it's, you only learned about it after some time, 5 years past, now she realizes that which I asked for is actually
Mahrul Mithl.
it goes, but then does she then owe her husband if it was more?
Whatever the Mahrul Mithl, if he paid more, khalas. It must, she has to return whatever she's. No. Don't go claim now from you. No. So we spoke about, we said Mahrul Mithl هو ما يرغب في مثل حسبا ونسبا. We spoke about Mahrul Mithl. Now you have what is known as Mahrul Musamma. Mahrul Musamma is the mahr that is mentioned in the contract. So the Mahrul Musamma is what the parties agreed upon. Either they verbally mentioned or they didn't verbally, but when I say Musamma, it means that it's agreed upon. It's not necessary that it must have been mentioned. I marry so and so, I marry you, my daughter so and so, for the dowry of 500 or 5,000 rand. It doesn't have to be mentioned. It's mustahab to mention it. It's recommended to mention it, but it's not the must. So when we say Mahrul Musamma, we say the announced or mentioned dowry. It means it's mentioned between the parties, between the husband and the wife. They spoke about it. But if they didn't speak about it, and the nikah went through for the dowry agreed upon, mathalan, as we generally say, I marry so and so for the dowry agreed upon, and you ask the husband, what's the dowry? He says, equity. And you ask the wife, what's the dowry? Equity. And how's it happen? So I ask the people, what's the dowry? Shaykh, equity. I said, how do you get married if you don't know what you must pay? So I thought you were going to discuss afterwards. He said, okay, now what if she's going to ask you 500,000? What can you do? She said, no, you right. But then you're already married. Right? You're already married. So the point is, in that instance, what happens? Immediately revert back to Mahrul Mithl. The dowry of a similar female. Dowry of a similar. So she says, no, but I actually wanted more. You didn't mention it. You didn't discuss it. You didn't agree upon it. He didn't agree to it. You didn't agree to it. So you revert back to the Mahrul Mithl. And that is the, if there's no Mahrul Musamma, if there's no Mahr dowry agreed upon, and then they would revert back to the Mahrul Mithl, whether it is more or less. And he says, وَعْلَمْ أَنَّ تَسْمِيَةَ الْمَهْرِ فِي الْعَقْدِ مُسْتَحَبَّ. It is mustahab to mention the mahr in the contracts, and at times it is necessary, and that is generally mentioned in the books of more advanced fiqh textbooks, when they are necessary. Approximately three different instances where it is necessary that you must mention the mahr, right? And وَإِذَا خَلَى الْعَقْدُ مِنَ التَّسْمِيَةِ, when the contract is void of a mahr that was agreed upon, فَإِن لَمْ تَكُنِ الزَّوْجَ مُفَوَّضَةً, if the wife was not someone that says زوجني فلان, marry me this person bila mahr. She tells her father, marry me Adnan without mahr. That's mufawwida. Or she says, زوجني فلان bil mahr, whatever mahr you agree upon, that you decide. Fawwadat, she leave it up to him. Right? Then she deserves the Mahrul Mithl. If she didn't do that, meaning she didn't authorize the father to decide or to marry her without dowry, then she mahr al-mithl becomes due as soon as they enter into the contract. وَإِن كَانَتْ مُفَوَّضَةً. However, if she's مفوضة, alright, كأن قالت, like she said, لوليها زوجني بلا مهر. She told her father مثلا, or her wali, her uncle or brother, marry me off without a mahar. And he then marries her off without a mahar. In this instance, what happens? وَجَبَ الْمَهْرُ. The mahar becomes wajib by one of three things. فرض الزوج على نفسه مهر مثلها حالا مع رضاها به. The husband says, you didn't want any dowry, I am going to give you the mahar al-mithl, the dowry of similar now, in the contract. It becomes wajib. The second time it becomes wajib if the hakim institutes and the husband says, no, I don't want to pay a mahar. Then she goes to the hakim and she says, hakim, just sort it out. And the hakim says, this is the amount. Or there's a difference between the two of them with regard to the value. They go to the hakim determines what the mahr al-mithl is, and the mahr al-mithl becomes wajib. Or he has intercourse with her. As soon as there is dukhul, the mahr becomes wajib. As soon as there comes dukhul, the mahr becomes wajib. وزاد بعضهم and says ومثله موت أحدهما. One of them passes away in a nikah that is sahih before the actual mahar was established and intercourse took place, and one of them passed away, and in the mahar al-mihr revert back to the mahar al-mithl. If it's the wife that passes away, the husband has to pay that into her estate, and that estate becomes, that money becomes due to her heirs that inherit from her. هذا ما يتعلق بالصداق. Any questions? مرحبا.
Your dowry is like Umrah, and
Umrah.
yes, Umrah Hajj, and then you married for a certain amount of years, and then your husband can't give you the dowry, and then you get divorced. What happens with that dowry?
If the dowry is specified and it's known, it is not unknown, a ma'luman, it is, the values are well known, or it can be easily determined. For example, you live in a country where there's only, the umrahs are 35,000 rand, mathalan, and the hajj is 100,000, mathalan. So if I say hajj, automatically I know, okay, it's 100,000. If I say umrah, I know it's 25 or 35,000. So the dowry is ma'loom. It is the quantity, the value of it is known. And so now that is now not halan, it is not immediate, it is deferred. As soon as you are able to, أعسر الزوج, the husband is unable to. The husband and a divorce takes place. Halan, it becomes immediately payable. He can't pay it, it becomes a debt in his estate that must be deducted from him the day he passes away. So it is a debt that becomes due as soon as he has the money. As soon as he has that money, he has to pay it. If he dies and he was unable to, then whatever the value of his assets, that is going to be regarded as a debt to be taken from his estate before the heirs receive the inheritance. After the wasiyah, that is part of the liabilities. Only after all liabilities, and then the heirs will receive what is due to them.
If he stipulates, I will take you umrah.
So if you don't pay it for, now say you married, say for 5 years, say for instance for 5 years, and your wife wants a dowry of say of a Mercedes-Benz, for example, say of $500,000 rand, and you get divorced now. You already got 5 years married, you couldn't pay for that Mercedes-Benz in that 5 years. So if you divorce, then it's to say you must give her that money then.
As simple. Don't get divorced. Just don't get divorced. That's what the Egyptians do. Egyptians, they don't get divorced. Because they know once they get divorced, they must pay it. The mahkamah is ruling, you must pay it immediately. Hey, khalas, I'm going to keep this lady in this marriage against her. I'm going to make her life a living hell. Ayadu billah. May Allah save and protect us. Naam, the answer becomes due immediately. Becomes due immediately. Naam.
It's only if you.
Or death. Or death.
Or death.
Or death. So you must make dua if she lives long.
But we don't have that as men.
Hey?
We don't have that as men. They must pay us. They must pay it back to us. You say.
La, la. La. They will. Generally the wali knows about it.
Sometimes something happens and they practically.
If it's a dispute, they go to the hakim. They go to hakim. In terms of the value of a sadaq, generally would be the view of what the lady has to say. But there have to be now witnesses. In the absence of witnesses now, the hakim is going to have to say, look, there is a dispute here with regards to quantities and there's uncertainty, and reverts back to mahrul mithl. But it's definitely better to know, to make it known. I don't know why people are shy to say the dowry, like they say, like as agreed upon. People will come to me and they say, Shaykh, don't say it over the mics, no? Why? Like what? Is it something? If it's haram or if you feel it's too much, you make it less. If it's the dowry is a krugeran, 1 krugeran, and the person says, Shaykh, don't say over the mics it's a krugeran. Okay, then make it less. Are you embarrassed that it's too much? Make it less. Allah alam. So, but it's generally better to, like we said, وَيُسْتَحَبُّ تَسْبِيَةُ الْمَهْرِ فِي الْعَقْدِ. It is preferred that the mahr, as we mentioned, in the contract. وَيُسَنُّ كَوْنُهُ فِضَّةً. It's a sunnah, it must be of silver. Sunnah silver. لأن صداق النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بناته كنا من فضة. The sadaq of the daughter of the Prophet was silver. And what? I can, yeah, but it's sunnah to be silver. And that's why you say in Tareem, the always the sadaq, the mahr is always silver. You say the mahr نصف أوقية فضة أو 5 أوقية فضة بميزان بلد تريم. This is the sunnah.
Sheikh, is it true that if you got married first once and you get a current divorce, right? Now you want to get married again, so you really know what clear.
The question is, if you got married and then you got divorced, if your iddah is over, then you don't. If your iddah is not over, then you don't need. If you still during your iddah, the husband issues a talaq and he says anti taliq or talaqtuki, and she's still within her iddah and he says raja'tuki or radadtuki ila ismati, yeah, take you back, and then there's no wakil needed there. She just, the marriage just resumes. But if the iddah is over, then it must be a new aqd, new contract, new mahr. So as jy net die 500 days na 'n Mercedes gekoop het, then must maar by another, that one and another one. That one and another one. So it's a new contract, witnesses, wali, dowry, everything. If the iddah is over.
If you married someone else, not the same.
Oh, no. The fact that a female is a thayyib, I think we spoke about this in last year. The fact that a female was married before and she's no longer a virgin doesn't preclude her or exclude her from requiring a wali to marry her off. The only difference between the two is that she needs permission, the other one don't need permission. The female that has never been married, the virgin, does not requires permission of the father, and the father can force her without against her permission. The thayyib, father can't force her to get married, and she doesn't need his permission. She said, Daddy, I know men. I'm khar, I've been through this road. Daddy don't have to tell me. I know my choices. just maaf, معليش. منكم come there and just give me off. That is, she doesn't need the permission of the father, but she needs the wali to marry her, to marry her father or brother or uncle. If the father passes away, then it's based on the tartib of the awliya, which is in your book. You have your book? Now, within your book, we spoke about the tartib of the awliya. And حكم ما إذا استوى أولياء النكاح, if there is a which the who has the greater right to marry a female, starting from the father and the grandfather and then the brother and the uncle.
Sheikh, that we should pay half the mahar back at the marriage and we can consider it. If it is on,
What is about the half of the mahar?
if it's on the side of her, if she wants a fasakh, it's not that she's paying you, that I will pay you to divorce me.
Jameel. Keep that question for next week, inshallah. He's asking what if the problem is on her side? If she is the problem and the reason why the marriage is coming to an end, does that still apply or not? Sallallahu alaihi wa sallam.